Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is For Pause in a Book. I make book and lifestyle related content Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and today I have a recommendations video for you. If you are participating in the Avengers Initiative Reading Challenge, that's the name of it. I do know my own readathon. You know that we dropped a couple of prompts and a couple of new mission logs, new boards, whatever we want to call them. So we dropped Vision, Doctor Strange, and Ant-Man. So very excited about those. But today we are going to talk about Ant-Man. And Ant-Man has a prompt on there that is a book with a character that has an animal companion. And it's For Pause in a Book, so I have animal companions. So today we're going to talk about some books that have some animal companions. And I have a few genres for you. It's pretty easy to fall into contemporary or fantasy, which I do kind of have. We'll just get started with it. The first recommendations I have are Pan Retellings, because they have Nana in them. Nana is the St. Bernard that's in Peter Pan, the original. And Nana, in some form or fashion, finds a way in most Peter Pan retellings. So, Darling by Kay Ancrum has a St. Bernard named Nana. Lost in the Neverwoods has a dog named Nana. So, there you go. There's some animal companions. And now I have some, high fantasy. So, of course, we have Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. We have dragons, and we also have direwolves. So, those are both animal companions. So, somewhere in that series, I know that this book has direwolves. I don't remember where the dragons come in the books as far as being a companion. So, maybe later on, I don't know. The direwolves are definitely in this one. And then I know this author can be problematic, so I'm gonna quickly rush by it. But The Nevernight Chronicles by Jared Kristoff does have a animal companion. And Mr. Kindly is the cat that is Mia's companion. And he is arguably one of my favorite non-human characters. J. Kristoff can be a very problematic author, so that is one thing you want to take into consideration. But do your research and see what you think about it before picking up one of his books. All right, another high fantasy is, of course, the modern classic, I guess, of Eragon. This one has a dragon companion. So, obviously, this is pretty good. This is one, though, I do not, and I repeat, do not recommend the audiobook because the voice of Saphira is god-awful. So, don't recommend reading this one via audio. But it is kind of one of those classic books that I read growing up, so it has a lot of nostalgia feel to it. All right, now let's talk about some contemporaries. Of course, we have A Dog's Purpose by W. Bruce Cameron, or really any of his books. While the dog is kind of the main character, there is also a human element to it, so that would make the dog the companion of the human. The prompt does not mean that it has to be the main character. It can just be somebody. I love these books. Now, this isn't something that's necessarily everyone's cup of tea, but this definitely has an emotional tug on your heartstrings. It is a book that you'll laugh and then 5 seconds later you'll cry. Do with that what you will. This is definitely something you want to be in the right headspace for, just because it will make you emotional, but I really love these books. Alright, I will also recommend Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, because there is a little tiny kitty. One of the, I guess it's not really the meet cute. They had met before, but the first time that the two characters have a real interaction with each other, Chloe is trying to rescue this cat from a tree, and then later decides to keep the cat. His name is Smudge. It's so cute. It's adorable. So obviously it's a romance. I've talked about the Brown sisters quite a bit on my channel, so obviously I would be recommending this. Would definitely count for an animal companion. All right, and another one that would be a little bit more subtle, and it's definitely not something where the animal has a huge part in it, but you could definitely make this argument that the character has an animal companion, and that is I'll Be the One by Lila Lee. Henry Cho, which is the love interest of this main character, has a dog where they do have several conversations about his dog, about the dog being on Instagram, about him wanting to take a bunch of pictures of his dog, and that's how the main character followed him on Instagram in the first place. So it's really cute. And yeah, one of those like examples of the dog has no purpose of the plot. It's just a cute little add-on. He's not like a character of the book per se, but it still counts. When you think about an animal companion, I think that this prompt screams middle grade. There is a lot of middle grade books where the main character has an animal friend or has a pet or something along those lines. It just kind of becomes this staple of middle grade books, and I think like that trope kind of started with classics like Charlotte's Web or Stuart Little. These books kind of set that tone, and even in today's middle grade books you still see this really strong bond between a human child and their animal companion. So obviously something like Charlotte's Web could work for that prompt. Short book for you to try to pick this up and like knock that prompt out of the way quickly. And then some of the more like modern middle grade books, we have Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate. This is about a boy who their family does not have any money and they're actually living out of their minivan. He does have a dog, like an actual dog, but then he has this imaginary friend who is a cat who is large. This actually isn't a book that I have read yet, but I have heard a lot of things about it, and it is one that I do want to pick up. So maybe I'll pick this one up for this prompt. All right, and then the other two I have read. The first one is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. I did read this one last year for like a witchy type vlog, like a witchy themed vlog. And this is a very atmospheric book. It's very beautifully written, and the main character, or one of the main characters, has a tiny dragon, which you can see on the cover. He's so cute and probably one of my favorite characters in this book. This was a really cute book. And this is a book where the audiobook is actually really strong. I think it really lends itself to that very lyrical writing, and definitely one that I would recommend on audio. And if your library supports Hoopla, it is on there. And then the last book that I have is probably one of my favorite books. It definitely was one of my favorite books of 2019, and just an adorable, adorable book. And that is All the Impossible Things by Lindsay Lackey. This is a book about a girl who is in the foster system, and then foster parents are trying to adopt. So this one would also work for a character with a the book with a parent-child relationship. Even though it's not a birth parent, I think it could still totally work, because foster parents are very important in children's lives. But anyway, this girl can control wind, essentially, and so when she gets very frustrated or angry or upset, she actually like creates this tornado. So there is a little bit of a magical element to this, but I really, really loved it. And there is a Galapagos tortoise in this book, and that would be her animal companion. So this one was so cute. I highly recommend you pick it up. It's also a stunning cover. So if you wanted to try to link the boards and use Vision's prompt for a visually appealing cover, this one could work for that as well. Alright guys, so those are a few recommendations for books with a character that has an animal companion. Let me know down in the comments below if I missed any, and what your favorite book with an animal companion is. If you are not feeling chatty, you can put any animal emoji that you want. Whatever you would like as your animal companion, put that emoji down below. And if you are new here and you have not yet subscribed, there's a little red button that you can do so down below the video, and all of the links to my social media will be in the description below if you would like to be my friend on any other platform. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.